And I'm back. So, I spent pretty much the entire weekend playing from Software's newest video game release, probably the most anticipated video game of the year, Elden Ring. And I have some thoughts. Not really controversial ones, but let's just say the game is stressful. So let's break it down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
So, like I said, pretty much the entire weekend playing the game. I got it on Friday. So Friday night I started playing like after what time? I don't even know what time I started playing, but it was later in the day after I got off work. And it was an experience. It was an experience like I've never had before. This game is designed to piss you off. If you ever played From Software game, for those of you who don't know, From Software created the Demon Souls, Dead Souls game, right? And they are what's called infamous for being very difficult and for pissing you off or something. Now, I've never really been interested in those types of games because I've never seen anybody having any fun while they play it. I've had my kid brother loves the franchise, and another one of my best friends also loves the franchise, and they love it. But whenever I saw them play, I never saw them have any fun. They're always tense and angry, like ugh. And I'm like, that doesn't look like fun to me. But you know, whatever. What can you do? But this time, when they announced Elden Ring, they also announced that they were collaborating with one George R.R. Martin. Now, for those of you who don't know who George R.R. Martin is, he wrote the Song of Ice and Fire books, which you may know more. They're better known as the Game of Thrones books, and so I'm a fan of his work. I got all the Game of Thrones books, and I got also other of his books right back there. You can't see it right now because it's dark, but whatever. Point is, I'm a fan of his work. So when they said that, I was like, all right, fine. I'll give it a shot. I'll give Elden Ring a shot, and then ask the game. The game got delayed to oblivion. It got delayed so many times, but it seems that it was worth it because once it came out, it's probably the biggest release of the year, to be honest. And once it came out, everybody's loving it. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. Blah, blah. And to me, like, they're all a bunch of masochists. But I have to admit, the game does have its moments. Now, before I started playing the game, I put a poll. I put a poll on my Instagram. And basically, it said my first playthrough, over under 100 deaths. The under got 20% of the votes. The over got 80% of the votes. And let me tell you something. You guys are right. I'm not over 100 deaths yet, but there's no fucking way in hell that I'm not going to make it to 100 deaths. Like, I'm already at over 50 easily. Like, let's say I averaged like 25, 30 a day. Then that's sort of the ones that I just counted. Sometimes, you know, just power through like and you forget. But I think I got around 30. And so at 30 a day. So yeah, there's no way that I'm not reaching 100. Like, I barely beat the first boss and I'm over 60. So like and I tried really hard not to die. That's what's really annoying. Anyway, so that's that. I hate saying it, but that's that. Anyway, I wished Eric could be here to help me out on this one. Unfortunately, he was supposed to be here, and that's why I waited for him to come out of school. But unfortunately, he had work. He woke up at like 2 or 3 a.m. to go to work, and then he went to school. So all right, fine. He's tired. He don't want to do it. Whatever. So I'm gonna keep this pretty short and pretty concise. Whenever I break down anything like a movie or video game, I basically tell you, is it worth your money? And for those of you who don't know how I see money, let me explain it to you very easily. To me, your time is equal a certain amount of money, and that's, let's say for example, if you make minimum wage, and minimum wage is $10 an hour. I think California is 15, but let's say minimum wage is $10 an hour where you live, whatever, the average. So, which means that if you buy something that's $20, it has to entertain you for at least 2 hours, right? Because $10 an hour, that means that it has to entertain you for 2 hours, and then it's worth your money. And now a video game is worth like $60 new, let's say 70. So let's say it has to entertain you for 7 hours in order for it to be worth it. Again, if you make minimum wage. I'm well over 7 hours at this point, so definitely worth your money. The game is fun to play. The world is I got some images here for you if you want to see it. The world is massive. It's very beautiful. It's ginormous. It feels epic. It feels like you're in a place that's just of epic proportions. The villains are nightmarish. This is actually a dragon you fight early on. I kicked his ass. You get to ride a horse with horns. It's really it's a fun little animal that you traverse with. The story seems interesting enough. I really haven't gotten too deep into the story, but it seems like it's fun. Like honestly, that's one of my biggest issues that I still haven't felt any. I haven't noticed any George R. R. Martin fingerprints out there. Like I said, I'm a fan. I know his work, and I'm pretty sure that the moment that I start seeing his fingerprints around, I'll be able to recognize them. So far, I haven't seen any, and I haven't. But again, I'm not really going too deep into the story. However, From Software and the Dead Souls games and whatever are infamous for not telling you the full story. You have to kind of explore and find out the lore for yourself. So, again, main story, I still haven't really done that much, because that's my issue with open world games. You just kind of start exploring, and then you're like, oh right, there's a story here, whatever. Like I said, the villains are creatures of nightmare, and I mean like fucking nightmare. It's terrifying, and it really makes you feel tense. Like most of the time, I'm just like I have to keep reminding myself to like lower my shoulders, relax my neck, because I found myself just playing up here like a lot of the time, and it also made me gain a fuck ton of respect for Goblin Slayer. Now, for those of you who don't know Goblin Slayer, it's an anime, it's a manga, it doesn't really matter. But the majority of the time, the dude is basically with a torch in a cave, in a tunnel, and you know he's hunting goblins basically. And after being in one of these fucking caverns with just a torch, it's a terrifying fucking experience. So it made me gain so much more respect for that particular character, because holy fuck. Being in a cave with anything, you don't even know what's gonna pop up there. It's a nerve-wracking experience, and I'm safe. I'm sitting at home. I'm like, I'm not in any danger. Well, but maybe a heart attack or something. But yeah, it made me gain more respect for that. But anyway, the game it keeps you tense. It keeps you very tense. I have to remind myself to like, no, relax, let loose. Like I said, nightmarish creatures. The world is open. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I have a few issues with it, and I'll get into them, but overall, it's a challenge. All right, like I said, this is my first Dark Souls types game that I've ever played, because it's not my cup of tea to suffering while I'm playing a video game. But overall, I've been having fun. So worth your money, yes. Worth your money, yes. The biggest, probably the most anticipated game of this year. Wait, did Halo come out this year? This might... No. Did it come out last year? I think it came out last year. So this one might be. I don't know. It's between that one and Halo. If Halo came out this year. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, my issues with the game. I hate three things. Hate them. It doesn't break the game, but it's just something that really particularly annoys me. I'll just be cycling through these images. The first thing that I hate is that you don't get any sort of accomplishment in game. What does that mean? So let's say you look at this area, look at this big wide area, and so is this the top 10? What do you mean? Is this the top 10, Mess Man? By the way, thank you for joining me. What do you mean? Explain. What are you explaining? Anyway, doesn't matter. So, and by the way, Eric said that he would join me when we do a full review. And again, he'll have way more insight on this particular type of games because he's a masochist and he actually enjoys playing these types of games. So afterwards, whenever he's not dying of exhaustion, but whatever. Most anticipated video games of 2022. No, this is not it. This is I'm doing kind of a review for Elden Ring because that's what I played all weekend. But I think it'd be number one. In most anticipated, it would probably be number one because it has like the most hardcore franchise, most hardcore fans. If you love it, you love it, and it's a community, and you gotta get good. And they have their own lingo, and so it probably is the biggest one. Honestly, if I'm making a list right now, no, Breath of the Wild 2 comes out this year. By the way, fun fact: if you want to talk about unlucky, Horizon Zero Dawn sequel Forbidden West came out this exact same weekend, and talk about a franchise that's fucked. The original Horizon Zero Dawn came out the same weekend that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, so nobody fucking cared about that one. And the sequel comes out the same weekend that Elden Ring comes out, so nobody gives a fuck about that one either. So it's it sucks because supposedly it's a good franchise and it's fun to play, but it has terrible timing. Life is all about timing, man, and it just has terrible fucking timing. Anyway, that fun fact out of the way, let's go back to this particular game. So, no real in-game satisfaction. What do I mean by that? You see like all this big-ass area right here? These places are probably going to be covered with villains. And the moment that you basically save the game, when you reach a checkpoint and you save it, because, you know, there's like grace points, and you need to go to a grace point in order to level up or whatever. And so the moment that you go there to level up, every single villain that you killed in that area is going to return, which is so fucking annoying. Extremely annoying. It's one of those things like, man, I'm not getting any satisfaction from killing any of these guys. It's infuriating in many ways. Now, I understand if they kill you, well, then all of them coming back, that makes a little bit of sense. Or how they did it in Breath of the Wild, that every night, you know, with the cycle, then they all come back to life or whatever. That's fine, whatever. But the way they do it here is like, what's the point of even killing anybody here other than, I don't know, getting runes or whatever? There's like no feeling of accomplishment that way. Now, there's a feeling of accomplishment that you beat a big ass dragon monster and managed for him not to even touch you. Like that's a certain type of satisfaction. And it is satisfying to do it that way, figuring out how you're going to beat the villain, how you can outsmart it, outplay it, or whatever. It is satisfying in its own way, but it needed something. At least personally, I felt like it needed that little extra. The extra of, I'm doing something. I'm creating something. I don't know. I'm actually getting some kind of satisfaction here, and I'm actually progressing in some way or another. I'm actually making these villains pay. Like, I'm actually making them suffer. Not really suffer, but it's like I'm getting them at least out of the way or something. I don't know. It's really annoying. That's thing number one that bugged me. Thing number two, the game is massively inconsistent in certain things. Massively inconsistent. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, your character has a bow and arrow, right? And so I like using the bow and arrow. I'm just going to be switching it around. So I have a bow and arrow or a crossbow. And when I shoot it, I could actually see like the arrow go like that very slowly. And so you're like, fine, that's the way bows work. And the aiming is kind of janky. So let's say, for example, there was a situation where I was being attacked by a giant bear. And by giant bear, I mean bear the size of a 3-story building. A massive, gigantic, super aggressive monster. And so what I did, because I like cheesing the shit out of stuff, is I found like a ruin, basically a ruin, and a wall that's about 2 walls that are about, I don't know, have, let's say, 6 feet of separation between them. So a human could go through it, but a giant bear would get stuck. So what I'd do is I'd go through the wall, and then I'd just shoot arrows at the bear, and then, you know, kill it little by little, which is, again, it's called cheesing it. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. So imagine being, let's say, 10 feet away from a massive bear, and you got, you're using auto aim, or are you actually going in there to aim, and you shoot this bear, and because the bear, instead of being here, it does this. Even though the arrow still hits its body area, it won't do any damage. And I'm like, well, fuck, what the fuck is this? What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? Because I wasted an arrow, and 2, are you fucking kidding me? It's a gigantic bear. It's right in front of me. Why did I not hit it? How the fuck did I hit it? And so you go instead of doing the auto aim, you actually go in there to aim, and it still doesn't hit it. It makes no fucking sense. However, and this is what I mean by inconsistency. When a villain, there's an area where there's like these giant spirit dudes, and these dudes are fucking sharpshooters. And I mean insanely accurate, to the point that they can read your fucking mind. Like you can see here, you're on a horse, and this is this magical horse. It runs faster than a normal horse, and it can double jump, which is pretty cool and very convenient. His name's Torrent. Love him. And so I'm in the middle of the woods, meaning there are trees around, and I'm zigzagging on Torrent, going like fast, like on speed, like I'm actually dashing, and I jump and I double jump. And there's a point where, as I'm zigzagging, walking around, and I do a jump, I get hit in the air by one of those arrows, and as I am falling, I get hit by another one. So I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? How is this even possible? Like, how is it that their arrows are so much more powerful than mine? And how is it that their accuracy actually works to the point where they can hit me while I'm zigzagging between trees and jumping in the air? It's fucking bullshit. Now, Eric, of course, was laughing his ass off because he's like, it sounds like you're just, what's the word he's looking? Is that spicy? There's a word that he was, damn it. There's a word here. And, fire. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The point is he was making fun of me. And it's infuriating because I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I like consistency in games. And I'll give you another example of inconsistency. There's giant crab monsters and there's bears, right? And I figured out that when a bear throws a hit, it can actually hurt another bear. So I used one giant bear to kill another bear. And I used one giant crab to kill another giant crab because, fuck them. And it was one of those things that, okay, villains can hurt other villains. It makes sense. Perfect. I'll put it into my strategy. However, there's another situation. There's situations where villains don't hurt each other. Like monsters don't hurt each other. They just keep, like, let's say there's a dude with a big ass spear and there's 3 of them. And so I'm assuming, okay, the dudes in the back is when they throw a hit, they're going to hit the ones in the front and voila. Turns out not so much. Gets the only person who they hit. Me. This guy. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So villains, so monsters don't just sometimes hurt each other, sometimes don't. What the fuck is this? Again, inconsistency. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. In fact, I kind of hate it. It's very annoying. And so, again, it's just little things that just really infuriate me. That's number 2. And number 3, the game wants to kill you. Okay? It wants you to die. I think they actually enjoy it. And I'm not saying that the game is so difficult that it kills you. I mean, no, the game wants to kill you. I understand perfectly them putting so many villains. It's like, there's no way that you'll survive this one. That's one thing. Or being with a villain that's so powerful that you just can't beat it, whatever. No, it's fine. I mean, the game kills you in some of the most fucked up way possible. Like, some of the most fucked up ways possible that don't really make any fucking sense. And it pisses you off because it's not following certain logic. Now, some of them are my fault. I admit it. Like, for example, at one point, I went up on a magic level, like a magic elevator. I went up a level, I got killed, and so I appeared all the way at the bottom again. And so when I went to the elevator, I didn't realize that you need to pull a lever to bring the elevator down again. And so I fell down a hole and died. All right. That one is on me. Mea culpa. Got it. But for example, there's a certain thing, like there's let's say a tornado thing. Like there's special areas where you can go in there with your horse and jump, and you'll do like a super jump, right? And you assume that when you're doing one of those things, you're going to always fall on the area that the game wants you to fall. Turns out not so much. Turns out that if you aim incorrectly, you're gonna fucking die. And it's one of those things you're like, well, what the fuck is this? Why would you even put this here? Why are you trying to kill me? It doesn't make any sense. Do you not want me to pass this game? But no, I think they actually enjoy killing you. They're like, let's see what other trap that we can set here for this dumb fuck for him to die. So yeah, really annoying stuff. Really annoying. But overall, it's a challenge. All right, the game is meant to be a challenge. It's meant for you to figure out how. Actually, it's meant to. You have to figure out too many things sometimes that I wish I would have known from the beginning, or I wish somebody would have told me, because the game really doesn't explain much. And so, to me, logically, if I'm fighting a giant monster, like let's say like this thing, this gigantic human like spider dude, whatever, I want to stay as far the fuck away from this guy as possible. However, the opposite is true. Turns out that with most villains, you kind of want to be near them, even the big ones, because if you roll at certain times, you get basically invincible. You're invincible while you're rolling in certain times. You got to time it right. Basically, it's a game all about timing. And so when you time things right and you roll, they can't hurt you. So all you can be right next to them like a giant, and if you roll out of the way at the moment that it's doing an attack, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And so that's counter logical to me, because it's like a big giant thing. I want to be far away from it and then wait for my opening. It turns out that the safest place you could be is literally right next to them. And so again, it's all just about figuring out their timing and rolling and all that stuff. And it's I don't know. The game wants you to play the game its way and only its way. Like I said, I like cheesing things. So to me, it's like, I'll just be far away from you. You can't hurt me, and I'll just hit you with a bow and arrow or whatever, and I'll win that way. Which you can. It's just going to take really long time, which I don't mind. But eventually the game's like, no, you have to play the game my way. And it finds ways of fucking you up. Like, let's say, for example, another thing, again, going in the inconsistencies. You have a sword, and there's a wall next to you, right? And when you swing, the sword's gonna hit the wall, ding, and then you're fucked. However, if you're a monster, their weapons go through walls without having to break them. So let's say something's chasing you and there's a wall and you jump it and you're like, you're kind of just waiting there. Well, the villain can still hit the wall and get you on the other side, which is very annoying. So your weapon gets stuck, ding, and theirs don't. Again, annoying little things, annoying little inconsistencies just kind of drive you mad. And what Eric was telling me is that, yeah, this game wants you to get upset. And it does upset you. It's infuriating. I can't tell you. I was actually feeling it like, yeah, real fucking cute game. Yeah, real fucking cute. Yeah, real fucking cute game. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a fun feeling. I do want to finish it because I'm like, man, I gotta beat this thing, because it's trying to cheat me. You feel like the game is trying to cheat. Now, again, he's saying that Eric says that I'm being salty, but to me, like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like the way that a game should be played. And so I gotta make a point, and my point is that you can't fucking beat me. I'm gonna beat you even though you're let's say your formula is fucked up and it's broken and I hate it, but I'm gonna fucking beat you because there's still a lot of things that are fun in it and it's enjoyable. So again, to keep it short, kind of condensed, the game is fun, is enjoyable. It's infuriating and you will die so many times, but so far I've been having a good time. My neck is not feeling that great, but whatever. Sometimes you gotta suffer a little bit. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Super Dario World on YouTube and on Twitch. I don't know what I'm gonna be streaming this week. It's a busy week for me. I already pre-recorded the one for tomorrow, so you're gonna get one tomorrow. It's about Pokemon. It's a Pokemon one. Wednesday, I have plans. Like tomorrow, I'm going to the concert, and then Wednesday I'm hanging out with some friends, and Thursday's my birthday. So I don't even know when the next podcast is gonna be. So tomorrow, one for sure. The rest of the week, I don't even know. I'll play it by ear. We'll see how it goes. As always, if you want to send me something privately, you can do that on Instagram at SuperDarioWorld and at DariusW. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.